It's Amanda. I'm a massage therapist at the Teal Center. I've been there for about 10 years on and off, and I love it. And although I'm not practicing right now, one more shot and then I'll be back. I have been in a lot of communication with my clients. And what I realized, a big thing that I help them do when I'm working with them is to help interpret what their body is trying to tell them through pain or dysfunction or lack of range of motion. I'm kind of helping them figure it out. So I thought we could do a little bit of that today. And today's lesson is a lot about muscles and fascia can hurt when they're overcontracted and when they're overstretched. So you could be overworking a muscle or underworking a muscle, and it will still hurt or cause pain, or it will be symptomatic. And I think this is really important to know because it influences how you stretch that muscle. You don't want to be stretching a muscle that is already overstretched. I'm going to give you an example now to help clear this up. I think it's always better to show rather than tell. So a lot of us, when we're sitting in front of a screen all day or just walking through the world, our heads will tilt to one side or the other. Mine tends to go this way when I'm talking for a long time. Now, there are myriad reasons why that happens, and it normally has to do with things lower down the chain. It could be because this shoulder is higher. It could also be because this is the way my hair goes, really. It could be from this hip is higher. My body is trying to keep my line of vision straight. So it's trying to balance out things. So if my head is tilted this way to the right, the muscles over here, the muscles that do right side flexion and bring my ear to this shoulder, are being contracted in a concentric contraction. They are coming together. They are working hard like this, right? The muscles on this side have to stretch out to let that happen. Now, if you do this often or you stay in a sustained side flexion, these muscles that are overstretched, will start to cause pain, and that often will let you know first. So your temptation might be to go, oh, my neck hurts, and do this. That's what you've been doing too much of. That's what's causing that pain, right? So how do you figure this out? How do you, on your own, without going to see a body worker of any type, figure this out? One of the things you can do, and this is where your handy-dandy Zooms can come in handy, or just your phone or just a mirror, or ask somebody you're with to look, is you can check your range of motion. This will kind of tell you which way you move more easily. So let's do it with flexion. You probably see when I do that it's a lot easier for me to go this way. My range of motion to this side is less. I can't get that. Sometimes I'll do this. That's not the right thing. I'm raising my shoulder. I'm not side flexing my neck. So if you do that and you say, my neck doesn't go that well to this side, start doing that. Start helping it. Start getting it used. Start oiling all the joints on this side, getting those muscles hydrated, getting all that fascia slide. This is the stretch you should do. Once you notice which way you're limited, that's how you should slowly start moving it back in that direction. Same thing for rotation. You look from right to left and you notice the difference. This is often what will help to have somebody behind you looking, because it's hard to judge yourself to tell you which side you go to. And it's important, again, when you do this, only move your head. You'll start noticing that you're going to try to move your torso to get you around, see behind you, right? And if you notice that you have a hard time going one way, try doing that more. Slowly, exhaling as you do it, and then you'll be able to better tell how to stretch that muscle, right? So the message is muscles can hurt when they're overstretched and overcontracted. Muscles are like Switzerland. They like to be neutral. They like to have symmetry. A really good example of this that we all probably feel is when our back hurts because we've been sitting like this at a computer or looking at our phones or driving too long. Your muscles in your back are not working right there. I mean, they're working a little bit, but the ones that are really contracted are your pecs and your internal rotators of your shoulder. They're the ones that are tight, right? But these muscles back here are being overstretched and lengthened, and they're not getting good blood supply, and they're hurting. So that's why it's good to stretch by actually using those muscles in your back, right? Stretching one muscle is just contracting its antagonist. It's just the muscle that does the opposite. Everybody knows this when you stretch your hamstrings. How do you stretch your hamstrings? You straighten your knee, and that's using your quad. That's how you stretch your hamstring, right? How do you stretch your triceps? You use your biceps, right? So that's my message today, my interpretation. A really important thing to do when you are doing these stretches, to really, or when you're checking your range of motion, is to be smart about that. And to what the most important thing you can do here is get your chin in, put the eye in and chin. Really, that's just making sure that your head is back here on top of your spine where it's supposed to be. Your head is very heavy. It's 8 to 12 pounds in some people, and it does a lot, right? So it's got a lot of range of motion, or it has a lot of possibility of range of motion. So if you're doing what a lot of us do, and you're putting your neck out like this because of a screen, because your body's like this, and that already makes your head go forward, that diminishes your range of motion. So watch. So I'm going to show you. If you start to turn your head left to right, and it's already out here, you can't go as far, right? So if you tuck that chin in and get your head back here on your axis and your atlas, the two top vertebrae in your spine, it can go further with less pain and restriction. So when you do those ROM, range of motion tests, make sure that your chin is tucked in, not down, not this, but like you're going, what? Put it back, right back here. And then when you do those stretches, get it back there too. And throughout the day, you'll notice that we live a lot out here. I have these big old, and so that's really important to know. These muscles in your neck right here, their job is not to hold you out here, but that's what they end up doing. So then they're tired when they have to do all the other things we ask them to do. They're not supposed to be like reins on a horse. They end up doing that and getting tired because they're holding this big old heavy head thing out here all day. You don't want that to happen. All right, that was too long probably, but I hope you got the message. I look forward to seeing you when I return to work. If not, until then, you're in good hands with all the other therapists at the Teal Center, and I'll be back in May.